Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. Today we are on the hunt for buried treasure. Actually buried treasure. Now it's not treasure in the sense that it might be worth something monetarily, but it's something really old, obviously, if it's going to be related to the place that I'm at, which if you recognize the building behind me, you know that I'm in Neshaminy State Park on what used to be Sarobia. And the garden is just on the other side of me over here. There's Humpty Dumpty. So, backstory. When I was here in the last couple of weeks with my coworkers, we were getting rid of a field of weeds that were no lie at least 3 to 4 feet tall. It just got out of control because our efforts were based on the picnic areas and everything. So it's like this area right behind here. So back there by the Playmasters, and that was just like overgrown. So we were in here trying to get rid of it. It was mostly my other coworkers. I was on another task at the time, but then I came back to join them. And as I stood here, I came across something in the ground, and I just thought it looked like a letter D, like a metal, like made of metal, I should say, letter D. But then I started kicking at it, and then I realized there was a lot more to it than what it seemed. So I thought today we would come and dig out this treasure. Now it's obviously related to Sarobia. It's red. So it could be a piece of farm equipment. It could be a gate. Either way, it's going to be really old. And I'm really curious to see what this is. Now, if it's a gate, it's not going to be a gate that's related to the garden. There was a fence that went around that garden, and it did have gates, but that was all black wrought iron, and this is red. So let me show to you what I did find. So I was just standing here by my vehicle when I drove over to help my coworkers, and then I started looking down, and I saw this right here. It's like right in the center of your screen. It looks, well, right now it looks like an ear. But if I do this, then you can see where it looked like a letter D. I thought maybe it was a belt buckle or something. I didn't know. But then I started playing around and I noticed, wait a minute, it keeps going. And then at the end, there's like a little curl to it. And the fact that it has this on here and a little bit of fancy right there, I figured maybe this is a gate. You know, maybe this was where the gate latched. And it does keep going here. And then it's at the end, like right there. There we go. But it keeps going this way, as you can see. And you can see also that maybe you can or can't, that it's red in color, so that definitely wouldn't be one of the gates to the garden. So I'm gonna dig at this a little bit, and we'll see what I come up with. Maybe if you want to, you could put a guess before you get to that point. You could pause the video, make a comment under the video, and take a guess at what this is. I'm not giving away any prizes or anything, but you know, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you're right or wrong or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to dig this out a little bit and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been digging at it for just a little while, not too long, and I was trying to like dig all around it to get a feel of how big this thing is, so I knew where to dig and where not to dig. And when I got to this area right about here, it started to lift up a little bit, so I stopped and I grabbed my camera. You can tell already that hopefully it's coming through on the screen there for you, but you can tell this is definitely a gate. And I know for sure, for absolute sure, that this is not one of the gates that went around the garden, because I've seen them. There's actually one inside of here. And it's a lot taller than this is. This is a short gate. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it went around the reflecting pool. Maybe it had something to do with the barn that used to be behind this building. Just for reference. Now this building, as you all know, is the very, very last surviving building of Sarobia, the land that Robert and Sarah Logan created. And this place was home to a lot of artists. There was an artist colony here and everything. There was buildings over here. There was the mansion that the Logans lived in over here, so the garden was essentially their backyard. There was a carriage house right here with a greenhouse on the back of it, which is where that little pond is from. That was inside the greenhouse. Rumor has it that the pond was in the greenhouse for the koi fish and whatnot that they had in the reflecting pool in the warmer weather, and in the colder weather they would take them in there. That's just what I heard. But where this hill is right here, this was all the barn. And when I saw one picture, and I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it in here, it was taken from about right here, from this, let me get the exact spot. I mean, you got to keep in mind this tree wasn't here. From this exact spot looking this way, and it was of a very dirty blossom farley tending to a horse, and you could see off in this direction, you could see his tower. I should be able to find that picture. I have it somewhere. Let me grab the shovel and see if I could do this one-handed. And we'll witness it for the first time together. Oh, you can hear all the roots breaking. Let me get under it a little more. There we go. It's not very big at all, actually. I should be able to lift it out by hand now. All right, big reveal. Oh, it's in there. There it is. It's heavy as hell too. Let me let it land on the ground, get some of this dirt out here. Maybe not. But here it is. I'll clean it up a little bit better than that. But we're seeing this together for the first time. And this is definitely a different, I mean, it's the same. Where's my gimbal going? What? I didn't move. I swear my gimbal's haunted. Mostly when I come here. That's weird. Maybe it's Robert and Sarah Logan. Anyway, so yeah, this is definitely, this cannot be from the garden. I wish I still had access to this building behind me. I don't. But if I did, I could bring that out and compare it. But I'm almost positive they were not this tall, or this short, I should say. That they were taller than that. Not by a whole lot, but still. And it's got like a reddish color again, and that fence I know because there are multiple pieces of the fence in here, but there's one that's preserved like perfectly, and it's black. And it's not black from like being dirty or anything like that. It's just that's the color it was. You can tell, as most wrought iron fences were. And this one has definitely got a red to it, and that's not rust. That's paint. All right, so here it is, all cleaned up, best I could do, using just like a brush and a little gardening tool. I did put some water on the latch here, and I let it dry a little bit, and it still does look red to me. And when I wiped it off with my shirt, I don't know if you'll be able to see, some of the rust color came off. So then I started thinking, all right, well, maybe it is rust. But then as I'm standing here and, you know, people are walking by and I'm letting them walk by, you know, not turning my camera on and stuff, I noticed something, which first off, yes, this thing has been here since as long as I've been coming here. We still don't know exactly what it is. Your first inclination is to say it was a bird bath, and it very well could have been. But I'm going to get to what I was talking about before, but if you look how it's like a curved lip on here, and that could have been from the bowl sitting on there, but it could have also been one of those like glass balls like you see in people's gardens. They've been having them for a long time, and I saw pictures from Logan's garden right behind me, and he did have some of them in there. None of them looked like this. I looked carefully at the stands they were on. They didn't look like this. But anyway, let me show you what I figured out. So as I was standing here, as I said, and I was just looking around and, you know, people passing by and stuff, and I started thinking, I'm like, but if it's red, you know, there's no real way for me to tell, because there's not a whole lot of pictures of around this building where there could have been, you know, a little gate going around, which, you know, when you think about it, the width of this is almost about the same width as this. So it could have been like the steps. These are not the original steps, by the way. And yes, that's my water. And this is not the original pathway either. But this could have been at the bottom of the steps, and there might have been like a little fence that went around this, and that was the gate for it. Very possible. And then as I'm thinking that, I thought, why red? All the other fences and stuff that were wrought iron were black. And I'm looking at this storm cellar door here, and it's painted black, but look around the handles. It's that same color red, and you can see where it's wearing through the black all around. Now, I've had the pleasure of being down here, and it's a very interesting experience, but not a very safe one. There are pumps under this house, and they're like different types of pumps, and there's big black cylinder-like drums or containers. They're like, I can't even remember how long they were, but they were pretty long, and they were like sort of roundish, sort of ovalish. There's two of them, and they run along the side down here. And then there's a room that goes off this way. It's like I don't know, about a good foot to a foot and a half drop, and it's just dirt. It's not finished. The walls are finished, you know, they're concrete, but the floor is dirt. So that could have been, you know, some kind of potato cellar or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, the red, and this being the gate for this place, and it being right here, it all makes sense. So there was probably a gate that went around at least the front of this house. You know, maybe it came out to like about here or something like that. Who knows? There's not, like I said, there's not many pictures of this. There's a lot of pictures of the garden. There's pictures of the mansion. There's pictures of the barn. There's pictures of the carriage house. The carriage house was actually, that and the greenhouse that was attached to it, they were actually the last things to go. As far as in this area, I don't know what the buildings that were over here were. I know one of them was kind of L-shaped, and there was another little building. They could have been all just for maintenance type stuff. So I have no idea when they went. But back in the 60s, the mansion had to be taken down for safety reasons. By then, the state had acquired the land because the land was left to them by Robert Logan. He had no family left when he was passing away. So in his will, he deeded the land to the state on the predicate that it uses it either for some kind of nature conservation, a park, or a learning facility for children. Obviously, they chose to make it a state park. But they owned the land at the time, and they were trying to, you know, to make it better, make it more like a park and stuff like that. It took a long time. And in the 60s, the mansion had to be taken down because even to this day, there are still thousands and thousands of generations of termites in that land all throughout here on the side that still live there. And it's termites that were the main reason why the mansion had to come down, because they had infested this thing. And it was also due to people. There was rumors that started to spread that Robert Logan hid gold in his walls, and they started like digging out the walls and making Swiss cheese out of the place. Now, the place had already been gone through by someone. I think it might have been the state, I'm not sure. And they took out a lot of the stuff. They archived everything they took out of there. I think that they reused some of the expensive wood paneling that he had in the house, and they reused it in one of the state buildings somewhere. So the mansion came down in the 60s, and then the barn that was back here, that burned down, I want to say in the 90s. I don't remember exactly the year, but this mound was not there. This mound is what's left of the barn with a bunch of dirt on top of it, basically, because this land was more like flat, like from this level, it was like flat going all the way across. So obviously these trees, you know, they weren't here at the time, and they've grown up since then. And then the carriage house, I think it was back in 2013 when they finally took it down, which I really wish they didn't have to. But again, it was the termites that got to it, and they had to take it down, and they took down the greenhouse because there really wasn't any glass left, and what was there was dangerous, so they had to remove that. We are still finding pieces of glass in there to this day, so be very careful when you're roaming around here. If you have like open-toed shoes or something like that, try not to drag your feet, and definitely don't go barefoot in here. But yeah, that's the whole shebang there, I guess. Before I start going on, because I can go on and on and on about the Logans, about Sarobia and everything. For those of you who have met up with me at the park and had the opportunity to talk to me about it, you know I can tend to go on and on about it. So yeah, here it is, unearthed for the first time in God knows how long. I figure before we go, you know, we got to take a peek in at the garden. And in case you're wondering what that sound is, that buzzing sound, it's coming from in that direction. We have a little flyers field here, and there's people that fly their planes that are like tethered to a string or a cord or whatever, and that's what you're hearing right there. To me, I don't get it. You know, it's just flying around in a circle. But whatever. As you can see, the garden is freshly mowed. I just did this yesterday. Thank you very much. We got flowers happening. I mean, you can see them over there in the raised garden. We'll go check them out. We got flowers happening over here. Those pretty purple flowers are back there in the center. The bleeding hearts are flowering as well. The ferns are growing up. I didn't know how long it was going to take. They were in there for a little while, but they're definitely growing up now. And the bleeding hearts are bushing out. We have all different plants just outside and inside the doorway here of where the gate is, and they're all flourishing. There we go. And what's up, Humpty? And look at all the flowers going down. I mean, there's a lot more green than there is flowers, but if memory serves me right, these white ones here and on the other side of that one, they're both phlox. Of course, even in here, I got to walk into a spider web. What the heck? We have other stuff growing. This is beard tongue. And there's a black-eyed Susan right in front of it, which is weird. I don't remember there being one there. Some other stuff going. They put in a different columbine, like right here. It didn't flower all that well, but it's just its first year. The other columbines, they flowered and they're gone. Like you could see the bare stem right there. Each one of those things had a flower on it, and there's a lot of them. And this thing really spread out, which makes me happy. The cone flowers have flowers started on them. And not everything that flowers has begun its process yet. The cone flowers are just now starting. This one was always scrawny. This one right here in the center of your screen. From the first time we put it in and it got attacked by deer or whatever attacked it, it just never came back strong. So when that flower happens, it's going to start to lean more to one side or the other. This one might do the same thing. We have all different kinds of stuff growing in here. When you come here, you can see that they try to keep up on putting signs. That's a coreopsis. This is a fragrant aster right here. There we go. All different kinds of stuff, and you can check it out, and you have to look hard sometimes to see the name tags or the plant names and stuff like that. But this is a blazing star. The cardinal flower, which was the first flower to be put into this garden way back there. You can see it about the center of your screen, low growing, but there's a lot more of them. It started off with just one and it spread out. We got a little cone flower peeking from in the center there. Trying to get a better angle of it. Now you can kind of see it through there. It's pink, but there's tons more waiting up top. I can see the buds. And this tall, straight thing here, it's the same thing that's over there in what used to be the pond. That really grew up tall. They all did. It's just, what's it? It's bee balm with those white flowers kind of growing through it. But the bee balm flowers are starting. There's another bee balm over here, but I don't know what happened to it. This can't be the bee balm. This looks like something else. This might even, I don't know if that's a weed growing through there. It's all the same from back there all the way up to here. That could have been something else that they planted. I don't see a tag for it, so I don't know. And there's another phlox growing through there. The bunches of flowers that you see. And yeah, these grew up, and they had really, really pretty flowers on them, but they're all pretty much dead now. But I'm guessing these are seed pods that they're growing on. They feel pretty sturdy. A little dragonfly. Oh, he's gone. Oh well. Nope, he's back. No, he's gone. He's just flying around in circles. There he is. And the ornamental grass, they have 3 of them. They're slowly growing. But by the end of the season, they're going to be tall, and they're going to have like pink feathery things on them. They're really nice. I like them. And they have all different kinds of plants that they've put around in the garden and stuff, and they're all doing great. And we have the chessboard. From back here, it looks a lot more lush than it does up close. There's some bald spots and stuff happening, as I mentioned before. But still, I love this thing. I can recall searching for it in one of my videos and not finding it, starting to think that like it was outside the garden or something, but there it was. When I mow in here, I don't mow those because I'm on a riding mower and I don't want to mess up the bricks. Wisteria bush doing great. Hostas are very lush this year. That tree we put in like right here, that's doing great. Playing cards look popping with these white colors and the black mulch in there. And then the sundial that's been in the garden. And matter of fact, there's a picture of Robert Logan sitting on this very sundial. So hopefully you enjoyed this little adventure, this little digging for buried treasure, which we did find. And it would seem that my coworker was right. He assumed it was a gate, and that's what it is. So make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. It's right there underneath the video. Click on that and drop me a comment and let me know what you thought. If you have any suggestions of future videos, if you know the area, you can always put them in the comments. I read every comment. Every time you get a like, sometimes you get more than 1 like on a comment, but when you get a like right away for your comment, yeah, that's me. And sometimes I give it a heart, once in a blue moon. But I do read every comment. And if you have not done so yet, and this is your first time here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Once you do that, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you'll be sure to be notified as soon as I upload new videos, or when I go live, which I have been doing quite a bit. So it would give you a chance to chat and maybe voice your opinions, voice your suggestions, things like that. Make sure you check out my merch shop. I've said this multiple times, I've lowered prices as low as I can on a lot of the merchandise. I have 2 different designs. Another one will be coming eventually. My one design is, of course, just my logo, which you can see in the lower right of the video or over by the channel name or whatever. And there's multiple things with that. There's hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, bags, all kinds of stuff. And then I have another one that says exploring is life, and I have that on a good amount of stuff as well, all out there to purchase. And as I said, another design or 2 will be coming eventually. So thank you all for coming along with me on this adventure. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.